text entry on the HTC Desire is a little different as well. As you can see, we've got the Nexus one here with the standard Android 2.1 keypad on the left, and the Desire here on the right with HTC's keypad. Now, the standard Desire keyboard does have predictive text. It has the little pop-up letters that show up above the letters as you tap them in, and it works reasonably well. But we do find that we kind of prefer the HTC keypad to the basic Android one. It's got predictive as well, which we generally find works maybe a little better than the standard Android one. It's also a little bit easier to add a word in if you're adding a new word to the dictionary. And the layout is a little bit nicer, perhaps quite similar to the two now, but they managed to perhaps fit a little bit more of what you actually use when you say sending a text message through the day. And we found that the keyboard is a little bit more accurate on the HTC Desire there. Another difference here is obviously in the camera apps of both phones. So I've got both loaded up here with the Desire on top and the Google Nexus one underneath. So the basic screens look pretty similar. As you can see, there's a control over flash and exposure on the main screen here on the Desire, as well as a link on both phones to the most recent photos, which takes you into the gallery. But the main difference kind of comes when you look into the settings. So on the Nexus 1 here, if we have a look on the settings menu, you have a choice of obviously changing flash mode, white balance, colour effect, where the photo is stored, the size of the picture and quality, and the focus mode, and that's just about it. Now if we flip over to having a look at the Desire, you can see there's in that menu there's a whole lot more that you can choose from. So HTC have organised things kind of by tabs running down the left hand side, so you can change obviously there between photo and video mode. You can adjust the brightness with this slider here. You can do the same thing for contrast, saturation and sharpness here with 3 independent sliders. Then there's various different effects, including CPU and grayscale. And finally there's a kind of a catch-all settings pane, which has everything from the white balance to the ISO, which you can rank up to 800 there, back to whether it's a widescreen or a standard photo aspect. Image quality and the self-timer, turn on and off geotagging. You can adjust the metering mode, so it can either be spot, center or average. Adjustments for flicker, autofocus. It's got face detection as well. There's kind of an easy way there to you can turn on and off the shutter sound, which we always like, and a grid there for a kind of better balancing and framing your photos. So it's a much more advanced photo application that HTC have put onto the Desire. Now, another difference between the Google Nexus One and the HTC Desire that some people might find kind of makes a difference to the decision which phone to get is voice search and voice to text, which is something that HTC haven't put onto the Desire, but you do get on the Nexus One. So for instance, say if you wanted to search for traffic status, you could tap the voice icon, traffic update. And it basically searches by voice and gives you kind of the most likely Google search results.